Coupa's early pay discount solution is going to enable customers now to invite certain suppliers to participate in the ability to make offers before an invoice is created and after an invoice has been approved. This will greatly improve the cash flow strategy that buyers and suppliers have when running their business. It's as easy as setting up multiple programs depending on the suppliers you want to invite to each one of those programs. Those programs can include things like the currencies in that program, the chart of accounts, and then all of the details that go into what kind of ability does the supplier have to make offers and put in different types of rates of those offers. So let's start by creating a program to show how the detail happens. I can give a unique name to this program. I can also give it a program ID, so when I bulk load my suppliers into this program, I can identify it by payment ID. I can also determine when do I want suppliers to be able to make offers into this program they've been invited to. So I can set up a program where it allows for before and after invoice approval offers from my suppliers. Or I can say I only want to set up a program that says before a supplier creates an invoice, they can select from a set of fixed rates the customer provides them, or I could do an after invoice approval that's dynamic. I can also make this particular program relevant and tied to certain chart of accounts in my organization. Could be one or many. And then what's the currency associated with this particular program? Now we start getting down into some of the funding rules. So for example, if I am offering the ability for suppliers to make offers after the invoice is approved, I can fund that account depending on how much idle cash I have available. And I can also determine how often do I want to replenish that account. I'll be able to track the fund utilization over time as I do get funds being dispersed. I can also set up an alert that allows me to tell me when a particular fund is about to expire as far as the dollars in it. And then finally, I can set up different groups in my organization that are going to get those notifications. So this allows for different teams. Now as we come down into the invoices before approval for the supplier, as they're creating the invoice, depending on their net term that they have with me as the customer, I can set up different types of fixed offers they can change or submit. So as you see in the case here with net 30, I'm allowing for just them to choose one offer that is an 18% APR, what I want to actually get out of this. Now for my net 45 suppliers, maybe I offer multiple different choices on when they want to get paid early. And then I can go right down the list here of choosing for my net 60, net 90, and so forth. But then this allows for suppliers within that net payment term to have different fixed offers at the time of invoice creation. Now let's come over and talk about how we want to establish the hurdle rate or the minimum APR I'm willing to accept on those invoices that have been approved, and suppliers can make a flexible offer on the rate. So here I can set up different tiers, and I can include a supplier into that tier. So I can say for all my tier 1 suppliers, I'm going to set a minimum APR rate of 12%, meaning they have to submit an offer that's equal to or greater than a 12% APR for that offer to be automatically accepted in the system. If their offer falls below that APR rate, then the customer is going to either approve or reject that offer. So here's where I can establish now different tiers for different suppliers that fall in that tier. So instead of doing it separately, I'm doing it all here in one program. And again, remember, I can do multiple programs. So here's my example. In this particular program, I'm going to have 3 different tiers of suppliers in this program. And now I actually want to let the supplier know when I'm going to pay them on those tiered offers if they were to submit and get an offer accepted. So in my example here, I'm going to let the supplier know that if their offer is accepted, they're going to get paid in 3 days. So you can see as the customer, I can control when I'm going to pay that supplier. And then I can also set the minimum discount days at the bottom here. So this is basically saying, let's say, for example, I have a net 30 term with that supplier. They'll have 25 days to make a flexible offer or a dynamic offer. From days 26 to 30, I no longer allow them to make an offer because it's too close to the net payment date. So now I can publish this program, and this is now going to become available for suppliers that have been invited to that program. And Coupa will actually work with you as the customer through a campaign to onboard suppliers throughout the life of your subscription with Coupa. Now, loading suppliers, here's an existing program. I can now take a file and bulk load a whole group of suppliers into this program, right? And this is where they just need minimum data as to the supplier name, their number, the discount stage after or before, the tiers, and the creation date. If I want to eliminate a supplier from a program on a one-off basis, I can delete them right from here. I can also deactivate the entire program. So let's say there's certain times a year where I don't want to offer discounts. As you can see here up at the top, I can deactivate the program and then activate it at another time. You can also edit this program if I'd like to make changes, all within this one working screen. So now that I've set up the programs and I've got my suppliers enabled, what does it look like to the supplier, for example, when they receive an approved invoice? Right? So let's come over to the supplier and imagine they've received an email. Embedded in that email would be a link to bring them to the Coupa Supplier Portal to get paid early. They'll put in their credentials, and once they put in their credentials, the system will take them to the early pay discounts screen where they can make those dynamic offers. So here you see that I'm on now in the Coupa Supplier Portal. I'm on the early payments screen. And what I also have here is I have my accepted invoices that have been processed in the past. So I can get a history of what I've done in the past and what I've earned. As well, I can now look at invoices that maybe I want to get paid early, right? So I need cash to run my business, right? So now I'm part of a program. I have the eligibility to go ahead and get paid early. As you can see on those two that were accepted, I actually got paid early by 42 and 41 days by making that offer. So that's really helping me in my cash flow to do things like make payroll or pay down debt or whatever. So now I see I have an invoice sitting here for $10,000, right? I may decide, geez, I don't want to wait the net 30 or net 45, which I'm set up for. I want to get paid early, so I'm going to actually come over here to the action button on this eligible invoice, and I'm going to put my offer in. You can also see above that I can enable auto discount for all my offers, so I don't have to come here and do it on a one-off basis, but all invoices can be enabled. When I put in my 2% offer here, on this particular example, I'm going to be offering a $200 discount, and it's letting me know that my customer will pay me by April 4th, so then I know I'm going to get the cash I need to make payroll, for example. So if everything's in place, I'm ready to go. If I want to play with that percentage, I certainly have the ability to adjust that rate up or down. My offer will get auto accepted as long as that offer is greater than the tier 1 APR that's been set up by my customer. And in this case, it's 12%. So my offer has to be greater than or equal to a 12% APR. So I'm going to go with my 2% offer, and I'll submit this particular offer to my customer. As the supplier, I'll get a real-time notification whether that offer has been accepted or not. I can see here that it immediately changes to accepted, and now that's part of all my offers. I can historically go back. I can see I'm going to get paid 38 days early on this particular offer that's been accepted. Okay, that's what the supplier sees. They've made their offers. Now let's go back to the customer and let's see some of the reporting that Treasury can actually enjoy when they set up these different programs. So now I'm back into my program as the customer, and I can see all the offers that have come in over time. And I can actually control my answer set here by filtering on date ranges or suppliers or currencies, whatever it is that I want to filter on. But here I can see the statuses. I can see many were matched. Some have even been paid now, and the supplier gets notification of when they've been paid through email and the Coupa Supplier Portal. I can see the discount APRs that I've earned. I can also filter by date range. So I've got all this information here now as the treasurer to really get a handle on how successful. I can also get a breakdown of all the status offers that have come in, right? So I can look at what's been approved, matched, requested, rejected, expired, all right here. So I can get a running total of all my different offers that have come in and what status are they in. If I want to look at income analysis over time, what have I achieved? This is really the important part of why I have these programs in place. What kind of working capital am I achieving by setting this up? And then I can even look at my APR over time of all my different offers that are coming in. So as a treasurer, I have great visibility now into the success of my early pay discount program with Coupa.